Good day, YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to today's, sort of a very different video here because, well, even though it's actually quite a nice, beautiful, sunny day, I just have to actually make a very serious vlog. Okay, maybe I could probably say I'm very, very angry though, but not as angry as I thought I would be though. But hey, I've now actually decided to make a total decision that I just thought something has been bugging me so far on my YouTube channel. And really, I'm just pretty much a guy who's pretty much one of those stupid YouTubers who makes a whole ton of videos where I used to do toy reviews and now I'm just doing vlogs. Maybe I could probably make a separate video on why I could pretty much say to myself, why have I just jumped away from toy reviews and now I've decided to focus on videos but with different genres. Okay, so maybe I'm not being, just as I initially thought I was going to be enthusiastic to make toys and stuff. But it's just a choice thing. Okay, so maybe probably thinking, Ivan, aren't you being a little bit stubborn? Well, I am kind of stubborn though because it really is pretty much part of my borderline personality disorder thing, whether I'm just inundating with, or it could be the fact that you've got like me being the peaceful guy upstairs, and then you've got people downstairs, and that's probably one of the biggest, you know, biggest issues I've got. It's like the elephant in the room, isn't it? Okay, so obviously that's the elephant in the room here, and I'm just sort of thinking maybe my not, my mental health isn't that bad after all, though. It's just that I'm just pretty much in a situation where it gets a little bit different somehow, and I don't know what to really say here. Hold up, one more thing. I've got a fart here. Well, I'm totally back though. After a little flatulence, obviously I don't know what to really say here because, well, it's just one of those videos where I've decided, recording at 4 p.m., which is normally the sort of time I normally don't often record. But the real reason why I've decided to record this video relatively early is because I'm actually now having some very serious mental health issues at the moment now. And for me, for that purpose, I may have to probably announce this. Because of this, none of what I've just done so far in this week, video wise, will be toy review related stuff. And what that really means is that I will no longer be making toy review videos until certain verification is going to be granted sometime later this week, possibly Sunday, or maybe sometime around 1 or 2 weeks' time, or possibly 3 weeks' time. We'll see how it goes. But I really don't know because, as far as I'm concerned, I'm now pretty much going to shut down toy reviews at this moment because at the moment I'm not yet feeling like I'm going to be doing toy reviews because the problem I'm having so far is that whenever I've got other people around, it really not only grinds my gears but also drains my enthusiasm away. And I'm sorry, I have to probably sound serious here, but this is the sort of announcement that I'm putting up on my YouTube channel just to let you know that I'm not ready to make any toy reviews. Okay? I'm getting hammered by lots and lots of people around inside and outside of where I am. And really, that sort of grinds my gears because obviously, what's really been happening is, like, as I can say this, I have so many delayed uploaded videos on my YouTube channel and I'm never going to get them uploaded. Yet at the same time, I will get them uploaded, but then the next thing, I will be hindering those kinds of videos because guess what? Maybe another bad thing could appear and the next, and the next. I'm just so sick and tired about the damn future and really, it's one of those things like I'm just being surrounded by a complete bubble of yelling people and just people who are in complete stress. Okay, so it's one of those things, I could just probably yank out of the strings and probably, grab a Russian roulette and fly to Russia just for the sake of being a communist. How would I feel if I'd be a flipping communist if I had to run away from home for being quite, rude or anything? I could definitely be quite rude, as obvious as it sounds. And I'm sorry I have to rant here because obviously I've done so many of these types of videos because I could tell what now, really, I mean, I'm just kind of like sort of thinking why my mental health has been, I initially thought it's going to get better. Well, apparently it's not. Part of me is thinking, when am I actually going to get better? Well, I'm actually afraid now. I'm sorry. I can't really say about that because the uneasy feeling that I'm having at the moment now has become a very big issue. What I'm actually saying is that even if I'm doing very good video content, I'm now losing the urge to pretty much make stuff for people to show. And what that means is I'm going to hold off doing toy reviews, but I will continue making videos, but only if it's not a toy review. Okay, so maybe I could pretty much just stop here and just think to myself, where the hell have I actually gone into? And really, my YouTube channel has been very synonymous on toy reviews back in 2018. I mean, seriously, look back at my YouTube channel and see how much stuff have I made so far, like in the past, 5, 6 years ago. Yeah, I'm now pretty much doing different stuff. Is that what I'm actually going to be doing now? I'm sorry, but I'm just kind of like pretty, not just furious or anything, but I'm just kind of like pretty shafted and a bit jealous in a way though, just because I was just thinking like, just this rapid change of environment and content, and that really sort of makes me think, am I just going to commit suicide? Like the time I did it back in March of 2018 when I was just eavesdropping about my parents' words, or maybe had a little bit of a domestic violent moment when I was just, on holiday in Malaysia, and I was actually caught having domestic violence at that five-star restaurant here. That, unfortunately, was a complete, total mishap, of course, and I know I've been remembering it for the wrong reasons, but I'm sorry. All of this contributes to a complete and utter dilemma, and that dilemma has been the source factor of me recalcitrantly to not make videos on YouTube because of that. Okay, so that really has now aggravated to that point where I've actually have got, a little bit of time where I just feel like, I've got to the point where I think my relevancy of just doing toy reviews is now pretty much declining. And maybe I could probably make a very obvious video on why I don't really do that much toy reviewing these days. And I mean, surely, it's not just, the environment that's going around here, but also the other stuff, like, the demonetization bot, the double flagging my videos and age restrictions, and the made for kids stuff. When you think about the Elsa Gate videos that was made back in 2016 and 2017, that's when you had really radical content with, kids stuff, kids vibes, but you have a lot of adult oriented themes in it too. That was a total and epic fail and a complete endless battle still, because I know there's a whole bunch of other themes of late that have still gotten to the Elsa Gate phenomenon thing, and that's that. But I just really want to pretty much pinpoint that I'm not doing any toy reviews because of this whole, well, I'm not feeling good at the moment now. Okay, so I'm just straightforward thinking about it as for the sake of just, doing stuff that is, well, what's really good for me. Okay, so like, will I just go outside and pretty much stab people in the butt, or, what would I do if I was in complete stress? Well, should I just pretty much attack people and stuff though? No, I would never do that. I used to when I was 10 at a freaking Asda store, and but no longer anymore now. And I know when this video is pretty much there on YouTube, that's going to spark a lot of rage and controversy and would cause a lot of subscribers to dwindle away. And currently I've only got about 92 subscribers, which I like to say thank you so much though. But not for the stress though, because really, I've been inundated by just a complete amount of bad thoughts that are inside of my head. Yet I just feel like I'm just going to psychoanalyze that I haven't done anything wrong. Yet people always seem to tell me that I'm just doing bad things and I'm just doing wrong things in the universe. That's just pretty much how life goes. It's a flipping learning process. And really, I'm just sort of thinking, I could just go further away. Maybe I could just fly to Soviet Russia and join alliances with flipping Mr. Vladimir Putin and all of his stuff. I don't know. I'm just kind of that. Who knows? Maybe I'm just playing this little game called the Russian Roulette, but instead of playing Russian Roulette, we're dealing with something like what's there on YouTube. Like an algorithm roulette. Maybe that could be a thing for, days, weeks, months time, maybe years to go for. And who knows, I may no longer be around on the site though. And actually, yes, just to tell you this, I may no longer be on YouTube for goodness knows how long am I actually going to be. Especially when I'm working with my animations, that's also another possibility too. Because of what I'm actually now experiencing is a totally different environment compared to what I've actually settled in over the last, I suppose, years, about 5, 6, years ago now. And I mean, it's been very much obvious. They only just had to spend about 5 or 4 years now. Some may argue that maybe 4 when I was actually at my parents' house, which I think was the much more common and dominant sort of place I was. And I mean, the uneasy feeling of not producing that much videos on YouTube is all contributed to stress. And I mean, really, that really seems to probably really grinds my gears up, because I've been fairly much productive, but now what I'm actually now experiencing is, because of the stress, I've been losing some very key videos on YouTube, and now an onslaught of delayed uploads on my YouTube channel. And I know they do have their place on the planet. Of course, yes, that's the whole saying, Of course, as I completely start to think after, ranting about what's been happening so far, about when am I going to be pretty much starting and stopping about YouTube. You remember I said about the, the raindrops on my shoulder thing? This has to stop. Okay, so anything relating to that situation on the 15th of March, as I can say this again, shall not be mentioned 100% all the time. Okay, so seriously, man, it's been 1 month after I talked about the flippin' incident at the bus stop just before last week. What happened? Guess what? What was really happening was, at that time, there was a couple of boys, I think it was a couple of young men, a couple of middle-aged men, and they were basically fighting in the street. And guess what? They were fighting in the bus, and yeah, one thing I remember, there was a guy with a wooden plank, and both of them were drunk, and there was this guy that was yelling, "Get out!" Really, I think that was one thing I really remember, okay? I feel like I just really want to become one of these guys, but sadly, I'm sorry, this really is one of those things where, it becomes totally out of control. How much can I deal with it? I could really shout out to myself, how am I going to deal with situations, the next situation and the next? And then I could probably just pull my hair out and then just hurt myself. Or just commit suicide. Or then just probably say F off to other people. I can probably swear. But I don't really F-bomb and swear in my videos, as always on YouTube. Now, I'm one of these people who is considered to be a fairly safe and very clean and boring producer. I think it's fair, and I hope the YouTube robot doesn't really know what I'm doing here. And mind you, the other thing, in parts of where I really don't swear, is of course YouTube. And I mean not just YouTube, but all of society. Maybe, but who knows? Maybe I don't, maybe I swear. Maybe I do kind of swear when I'm not making videos here, on YouTube of course. But I'm certainly one of those people who is pretty much safe and fluid and very placid to talk about some of the things that I tend to vlog and stuff. I mean, who knows, maybe I could become one of those stupid vloggers on YouTube and show you some of the greatest places that I've been to. Somehow that might be great. But of course, yes, you may have noticed the fabric of my YouTube channel has been straightforward, chopping and changing, and that's all I can really say here. And, going back to that raindrops on the shoulder thing, it was mainly, overall it was just, I wasn't really, it was very unintentionally, thought to be me just getting angry for purposes and stuff. It was just that I was just hearing things that have been whispered onto my flippin' ear. Overall, March 2024 has been a very, very stressful part. But luckily enough, for April of 2024, I think because it's only going to be a bit of a short month, I don't know. It's one of these things where I can just say to myself, it may probably have the same effects and stuff. Maybe that might probably be a thing where I can just probably kiss goodbye and that kind of stuff. It's one of these things. Do I really want to probably end my life now? Or should I just keep going? Obviously, I want to keep going. Because why the hell would I just pretty much end my life for raindrops on my shoulders and then just being yelled at for no other reason? You know, I could probably get so mad that I could even find an angry mother and a girl and probably, arguing each other, or probably an angry mother yelling at her daughter and probably punch her in the face. That's what I'd probably do, but not this time, not as always. I used to do that when I was a kid, but not anymore, because that's the one thing I'm going to say here. I am never going to resort to violence. And I hope that people are paying attention to this vlog while not actually getting to the point that they're insulting me for the fact there was a flipping raindrop over my shoulder. Okay, so that's why I'm just, getting a little bit huffy, hey? And obviously, another thing I'm actually sort of leaving YouTube for the part of it, or taking a break away from it, is probably because I could probably, make videos for little children, that kind of thing. That's why this site has been so toxic anymore. Like, I've seen some very soft porn and very violent videos on YouTube these days. I think this site has really turned into an absolute nightmare. And I think that's pretty much how, YouTube and all the other social medias that have actually decided to jump into that bandwagon and being with zero. Like, TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. It's just one of these things with social media. We are now living in a very dangerous platform society, cesspool. As I can really say this, and I gotta finish off here. And I'm very sorry for sounding angry and gruff at this part of the video, but I feel like I have the right to feel like this. And in a funny way, as a very obvious message to my general audience, as always, as I can really say this, I really need to have some sort of very big repair, like a great big road to recovery, and boy do I need it. One thing I've actually done so far was that in order to pretty much take a break from actually doing videos on YouTube is to probably find new inspirations and try out something new. Like, I can try out different programs on the computer and whatnot. Maybe I'll try and do that whenever I get the time to feel stressed or not. Or maybe when I just feel like it's my fault, when in reality it's not. Okay, so maybe I'm just pretty much playing around with the whole real world and all that stuff. Maybe I'm just kind of, I don't know. It's one of these things. The more I get stressed, the more I just want to bail out of YouTube and just seek asylum for the rest of the world. And that's something I really hate to do. Somehow I could just say, kiss goodbye to this world and that's it. And I mean, I have the right to be pessimistic, as obvious as it sounds, because this is now becoming one of these things. Whether I really want to do toy reviews might be good for YouTubers alike, but yet again, it's going to be a bit of a very huge factor thing. So, yeah. With that being said, I'm actually going to hold off doing toy reviews and get a break away from the site. I'm over it. And I'm sorry I have to really sound very stroppy at this part of the video, but I have the right to sound like that as in a way to combat the way I'm feeling now these days. Now, I hope you've understanding how I felt, because it's now becoming one of those things where I've started to get into a point that things are starting to look a lot much more shabbier than what they used to be. But I'll leave it here. And luckily, if it wasn't for me ranting about the raindrops on my shoulders, which I'm pretty sure, I'm hoping it's over, and I hope it's not going to upset me and all the other people alike, okay? You've been warned, okay? If this happens again, you guys are banned and blocked in the site once and for all, okay? If this happens, I'm going to ban and block anybody who is trying to insult me via raindrops on the shoulder or any stuff. I mean, I don't mind being called as a simp, obviously, or, being like a complete green-haired woman lover, of course. But it's just that I'm getting sick and tired on the things that I'm just kind of, aggravated about or apprehensively agitated about. And that's what's wrong, obviously. Who knows, maybe in the most therapeutic ways, probably upload a video that just takes about 1 or 2 days to upload and just get the hell out of it. Maybe that's a very simple solution. Anyways, I'll probably leave this video here. Please like and subscribe, or maybe dislike, because, I know these videos are getting relatively common, which I might probably make a video about that in the future, along with why am I not making that much toy reviews these days. Subscribe for more for that videos in the future, and I'm really sorry that I have to feel it this way because it's one of those things. I can really, walk out of the neighborhood and just start drinking, any alcoholic drink, and then, say words which are really offensive, and then I can just get struck by the police. I better leave it here. And luckily enough, this won't probably cause enough havoc on my YouTube channel. I'm over it. And as always, as I was just walking around, just to pretty much take myself a bit of a deep breath and whatnot, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching here. Now I hope you've understood the feelings here, because I need to get a break away from the site here, because this is another aspect into why I've actually felt like my channel has aged so much in this sense. And one thing I've also forgot to say is that because of the stress, I may probably have to decrease my time making videos, or probably reduce the time of uploading videos, meaning that my goal of making up to 1,370 videos could potentially be a goal that has been burdened upon and will never be achieved so far to this point. Oh well, time will tell, and bye now.